This video is going to feature two things. First of all, this lovely piece of bendy metal, something that we call a saxophone. And the second thing is going to be this quite cool and interesting looking microphone. Let's start off with this fella here. This is the Grassi, and it's what they call the Jade roller version because it has these green rollers right there. It's also got some other green rollers on the pinky cluster, but I'll get round to that when I go around the saxophone. Now, I've always had a whole bunch of Grassi saxophones, altos, tenors, baritone, soprano, you name it, I've had it. And would you know it, every single one of them has been a very nice saxophone. Now, this is not my first Grassi tenor, but it is my first Grassi Jade roller tenor. I've had the black roller tenor, and there is some similarities between that and this, but there's also some subtle differences as well. I've had the alto version, and that was very, very sweet, and that's exactly what prompted me to buying this thing. It was one of them things, I seen it online on an auction site, and I thought, okay, here we go, click, you are now coming to me. But as I expected by the seller, they said that this would need an overhaul, and that's exactly what I did to it. So I did my usual routine. I stripped it down to a body tube. I cleaned it inside and out. In other words, I put the tube, when I took all the keys off, I put this tube in my sink. I give it a good scrub with some soap and water because it was a dirty little bugger, and I wanted to make sure it was nice and clean. Now, it does have some signs of wear and use on it, but that's to be expected. It's an older saxophone, but it's now an older, clean saxophone. And I also took the key work, straightened out the key cups on it, give them a good wash, give them a good clean as well. And of course, there's some markings and tarnish on the F key. You can see the F has this discoloration there. That's just cosmetic, but I'm not really bothered about that. I could use some heavy duty polish on it. Maybe I'll do it one day, but for now, it's not bothering anybody or anything, and it works absolutely fine. And one other quirky little thing is when I bought this, it had no pearl keys on the right hand here. So I had to modify the key work to get these lovely little pearl keys on it. They function absolutely fine, and they do look really nice. In fact, I think they look nicer than the originals, which are here. That's just another cosmetic issue, which does not bother me at all. Let's have a closer look at it, a bit more in depth. Now, these Jade rollers on the C and E flat keys, they look really, really nice. Why didn't they call this saxophone the Emerald roller? It sounds a little bit more classy. Classy Grassi. Jade, emerald, green, whatever you want to call it. Plant colour, grass colour, tree leaf colour. You can call it what you want. It's still looking very nice. This little left-hand pinky key gets its own set of fancy green, jade, plant green, emerald rollers. And there they are, check them out. Aren't they nice? They're very, very fancy. Although the key work on the low B flat and B is a little bit stronger than, say, your Yamahas or Selmas, but it still functions very well. It's a nice, sturdy piece of kit there. It doesn't have the high F sharp key, so that's another tick in the right box for me. I'm a fan of saxophones without high F sharps. Check out that body to bell brace. It's that little circle here, and normally you find them on the side connecting to the side of the bell, whereas this one goes from the middle of the bell to the middle of the body right there. It's actually a very solid connection between the bell and the body. One of the first things I like to check out when I pick up a new saxophone or something different to what I'm used to is the position of the palm keys, because that tells me almost immediately if it's going to be something I'll enjoy playing or something I'll find to be a pain in the butt. So the position of these palm keys are very, very nice. So that's another little tick in the box there. So the position of them, yeah, I'm very happy with that. The engraving on the bell looks pretty good as well. Has the word there, Grassi, on it. You can see the signs of the wear as well. But I don't care about that sort of stuff. It's just cosmetic stuff. And in fact, I look more worn than this saxophone, so I'm not bothered. Let's have a closer look at this neck, because this is something that you might find quite familiar. That looks a bit like something you've seen before. That's actually a G on there. It's not an S. And look at that logo at the front there. That's quite familiar, yes. So with my Sherlock Holmes intellect and powers of deduction, this leads me to believe that this is inspired heavily by the likes of the Selma Mark VI, because that is really heavily leaning into that sort of look, isn't it? Check that out. Got a nice substantial thumb rest here, which does a great job. It feels very nice, and it's not digging into your thumb like some tend to do. This has got plenty of space there, so it feels quite comfortable. Now that leads me to the thumb rest on the left hand here. It's got this really nice pearl there, and it's quite a large mother of pearl touch. And also, it's next to my little friend. And if you've seen my videos before, you know who my little friend is. It's this little thing here, or should I say, this absolutely humongously long friend here called the octave key. So with that sort of size, it's going to have quite a substantial amount of wiggling going on. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Look at that thing. It just doesn't know when to stop. So while I get this neck on, that was a quick look around this Grassi tenor saxophone. Now let's move on to this microphone. This is one of them fancy mics by a company called Blue, and this is called the Dragonfly. And it is a large diaphragm condenser. Now the unique thing about this mic, it has this rotating head. Watch, if I just move it like this. So I guess that rotating head feature is a good thing if you want to mic this up on something like a guitar cab, a bass cab, or maybe you're one of them singers in a studio and you've got it hanging down and you want the head slightly turned a bit, so that the microphone is a nice angle for you to sing up to it. Or maybe the opposite way, where the mic's pointing up and you can rotate the head a little bit so you can get comfortable on it. It's quite an interesting little thing. I like stuff like that. Interesting things. That makes me happy. The body of this microphone is more rectangular. It's like a square, like a long stretched out square. It sounds really good. I mean, I'm using a filter now, and it still sounds very good like this, because you know the filters take away some of the frequencies. So let's hear what it's like without the filter, and I'll try not to do any plosives. Here we go. Wait a minute, I need these things. Now that sounds really good to me. It's got this nice full sound, so I'm looking forward to trying this on the tenor saxophone. Now this mic normally comes with a bit of a fitted shock mount, but it didn't have it when I bought it. And I've got loads of shock mounts anyway, and this Rycote works absolutely perfect, so I've got no complaints with that. This shock mount works great with this mic. Screw it all into place, it's not going to move anywhere. It also came in this wooden box which tells you the name, Dragonfly. This is the Blue Dragonfly. Fancy box, spongy thing. It's a very nice piece of kit. So now the most important thing is, how does this thing sound when it comes to playing my saxophone into it? So let's get right into that. Let's get my saxophone ready, because the microphone's ready. Are you ready? Here we go. Let's make a noise. And I'll speak to you after I've finished making a noise.
Thank you.
Okay, so now it's final thoughts time. But first of all, your final thoughts are quite important to me. So if you can leave your comments in the section below, let's have a good chat, let's interact. I like that sort of stuff. So here we go. My thoughts. First of all, let's deal with the microphone first. I've sound checked it, I've done a little test with it, 1, 2, 1, 2, and thought, oh, that sounds nice. But this is my first proper test run with this, and wow. Now, I possess a bunch of mics by the brand called Blue, but sadly they don't make them mics anymore. So I'm kind of in a lucky position that I've got a hold of one of these Dragonflies, because I've just got that funny feeling that these things are going to go up and up in price because of the rarity and the very good quality. So am I glad that I've got this thing? Hell yeah. It's a big thumbs up. This is fantastic. You can hear it sounds very good, very clear and detailed and precise when I'm talking. And on saxophone, that clarity, that zing in the tone, if you understand what I mean, that nice full detail from top to bottom. It filled out the bottom end, it had the nice sparkle, it had that edginess when I wanted it. This microphone is great. And I've just bought 2 more mics by the same company, so yes, my ever-growing collection of microphones is starting to get ridiculously out of control. I think I'm going to have to sell off some microphones that I'm not using anymore. So this is staying with me. So that was the starter. It's time for our main course. And this thing, oh yes, I absolutely rate these Grassis. When I got this, as I mentioned, it was a train wreck. It was a mess. And I'm so glad I put the time and the effort into it, because this thing plays like an absolute monster. It does take a little bit time to get used to the old, the geographics of it. When you're wiggling your fingers on here. So if you're used to a Kyleworth or a Selmer, Yanagisawa, the big 4, Yamaha, it's going to feel a little bit different, but it's also going to feel a little bit familiar because the key layout is not too bad. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than what it is, but it's not. It's very comfortable. So let's roll the key work up and down. Here we go. That's a nice percussive sound. This thing just plays great. I like it. The tuning is pretty good as well. It's one of them tenors which I call a sleeper, or it's something that goes right under the radar. If you get the chance to get a hold of a Grassi, get it set up well, get it set up nicely, and you're going to have a great tenor. It's the tone quality. It does have that richness in the sound. Even the altissimo sounds full and big up there. The core of this instrument is very consistent from bottom all the way to the top. So where does this fit in the landscape of saxophones, in particular tenors? I'd say it fits right in the middle or middle plus. Even though these are a lot cheaper than, say, your Selmers and Yamahas, these can compete very much in the sound department of them, no problem. I prefer the tone on this to my Yamaha. That says a lot. So that's just my final thoughts. The microphone is brilliant. I love it. And it looks cool as hell. And also this Grassi Jade roller is an absolute winner. A very good tenor saxophone. If you get the chance to try one, just go for it. Enjoy the hell out of it. Now, talking about enjoying the hell out of something, I hope you enjoyed this video. I've got loads more coming, and I'm trying to build my channel, so that means you are needed by this stupid head. And I've noticed in the analytics that a lot of people who watch my videos are not even subscribed. Wow, that's incredible. So I would absolutely love it, and big respect from my dark heart out to you lot out there. If you can click on subscribe, click on like, that'll be fantastic. Help me grow my channel, and that enables me to pump out lots more content for you lot out there. So it's that time again, and if you've seen my videos, you know exactly what it is. It's officially tea o'clock. Time to go and get a cup of tea down my face. So I'll speak to you lot in the next video. Have an absolutely average day. Bye bye. Dun 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 dun.